instruction. You must stay at home. Because the critical thing we must do to stop the disease spreading between households. That is why people will only be allowed to leave their home for the following very limited purposes.
Music. This is the word that brings us a lot of good memories, vibes, and experience for some of us. The street musicians are the people who are giving their emotions to the world we live in. They share their thoughts and feelings with us so we can see and hear one new side of mankind's evolution. But since the beginning of this pandemic, many places have been closed and forbidden to access. So the buskers have been affected and their music industry has a real struggle at the moment. The question is, do they need to use more social media so their talent will continue improving our human race?
I'm a second year event management student, and right now my job is to learn how to communicate with the street musicians and the small artists, because many of the students in BIM are on the streets performing on Oxford Street, Leicester Square, Trafalgar Square. They want to get out of the street and probably going to pubs, small pubs or small venues, and start creating their own music and their own small concerts. And our job is to analyze what they're doing wrong and how to make their career easier, give some suggestions, tips, what they do wrong, for example, the time they're playing or the music they're playing. And a lot of musicians are going on the street to get out of their comfort zone, to get used to singing in front of the people and not staying in their room and just recording their songs. And during the quarantine, the street musician or the new artist get really stuck with their minds, and they trying to create accounts, Instagram and Facebooks. A lot of BIM students are we trying to support them and help them to get used to social media, because we don't know where the music industry is gonna go. The problem with the social media is that there is a lot of trends, and a lot of singers and musicians lost their type because they need to do something trendy to get famous and somebody to know them.
I hope these bloopers get me lots of Mini Coopers, bloopers, Mini Coopers, bloopers, Mini Coopers, bloopers, bloopers. I really like making people feel good. That's the point for me in music. Just pass the vibe to people, make them feel cool, make them feel good. Eventually make them relate to what you think about. But yeah, that's the point for me. There's no tickets, there's no something arranged. You just go and see someone playing. You could stay if you want, hear them performing, hear their performance. And it's like a concert for everyone, as I said.
I think the street's gonna become empty with no music, which I personally don't like, because the musician should be on the street, they should be in the pubs, they should be in the restaurants and performing there, not standing in their bedroom and just singing there, because they are creating the atmosphere of the city, they're creating everything that making the city whole, and the whole atmosphere and the tourists, they're just impressed by that.
Usual everyday type of guy, my head in the sky. Head shivering, heaven angel coming ready to die. So see the sign, stand to the side, open your eyes and take a look and realize the resurrections arise and there's a mist clears.
Ed Sheeran, you know him, he used to be a busker, and he's a huge, huge inspiration for me, as well as John Mayer. He has something like busking. His history is interesting as well. He used to study in Berkeley, which, if you don't know, is really, really, really good place to study music at. But eventually, at the Christmas break, he dropped out. He was like, you know what? If I'm doing that, it's not gonna be here. I gotta take my career in my own hands. And he started playing at open mic nights, at pubs back in Atlanta. At some point, the open mics night became John Mayer nights, and people started coming because of him. Apparently, the pubs became stages, the stages became arenas, and you know how it goes at some point. I think in 2000, in the year of 2000, he got signed by Columbia Records. So if you want to start, you gotta go in front of people you don't know. Use every single opportunity. There's people that only use social media for sharing their art. There's people who only use stages, but you know, when you don't have the stage, you gotta use another one. You gotta use what's available. So what was available was social media when everything started. So everyone started using social media. Even I started uploading more stuff because everyone's staying home, and I wanted to entertain people not in the streets but on social media.
Never try again, but when I saw you, I feel something I never felt. Come closer, give you all my love. If you treat me right, baby, I'll give you everything. My last made me feel like I would never try again, but when I saw you, I feel something I never felt.
All the people that arranged the recording and stuff like that, but it's not only that. There's a travel crew, there's stage crew, and all of these people suffer because of this thing. But many artists had online concerts. I don't know if you've seen any.
My name is Brano, and I will be your host here in Zabrze. And our special guest tonight, Mr. Robbie Kilobyte.
It changes everything that we managed to create, the system we managed to create in the last 15, 20 years. We based our work on touring and live shows, and once you don't have this opportunity, of course you have to think about something else and to think about the alternatives. And it is less about what the immediate impact is and what is going to happen in these couple of months of quarantine and isolation, because once it is over, we have to see what kind of world we're gonna wake up. The problem with social media and musicians and artists on them even before this pandemic and quarantine, because there's so much of content. So many artists are trying to break through this way. So when you go on any platform, is it YouTube or Deezer, whatever, you'll find a zillion of bands and musicians who are fighting for this very short attention of the audience. So it is a big competition, and it's not always easy to break through. We are in a in a bit different situation because we're not starting from the scratch. We had a strong presence on all these social networks from the beginning, when from MySpace, from the beginnings of the Facebook, of the Twitter, we were always there, and we kind of grew. Our numbers grew gradually. So now we have quite substantial presence there. So when we put out the quarantine show and we play live, or we put a music video out or whatever, we got more attention. If you would be starting from scratch, from zero, and trying to get attention from a lot of people, it will probably be a lot harder. But you must not be discouraged by this, because this might be the only way to work for a while. So let's adapt it.
Buskers, the children of the streets, the artists that share their talent with the rest of the world, just to fill the gap that's missing in people's life. They live their dreams, no matter if it's bad weather or quarantine. Luckily in this century, the social media and new technologies will assist them to walk in these digital streets, because they do what they love, and they should love what they do.
If you want to get recognized, you're gonna do everything it takes to get recognized. And I think you should go out, play, upload videos of you playing. I used to use Instagram way before the quarantine, so it wasn't something different for me. I just started uploading more stuff because I had more time. It's time to stay home and be safe. Try to get warm and create. It was like a message to the people, but at the same time it was me expressing my feelings about stuff. So just do what makes you happy, man. That's what I'm gonna tell the people. Just do what makes you happy, because that's the most important thing. It's time to stay home and be safe. Try to get warm and create.